What up, though? What's good? What's good? It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live as usual. You know what it is. You know what time it is. You know where we at. We are in the no cap zone where we keep it real like we always do. Miss me with all of that nonsense. Miss me with all of that BS. Miss me with all of that cap. See, in the no cap zone, we have a strict dress code. No capping allowed. So when you come into the no cap zone, you take that weak ass cap off right now. Or else you will be unkindly escorted the hell away from here. Alright? So, as usual, we're here to talk about the election. And long story short, I hate to break it to you liberals, to you Dems, to you fake leftists, pretending to be leftists and really you're right-wing, center-right goofies. Kamala doesn't have a chance, yo. She doesn't have a chance. I'm sorry to break it to you. She doesn't have a chance. I know a lot of y'all would love to believe that Kamala is the most amazing thing since sliced bread. Kamala this, Kamala that, Kamala. Oh, Kamala, she's so wonderful. Kamala. We love her, Kamala. What does she stand for? What does she push for? What does she aim for? What is her vision? What are her stances? What are her policies? Where's her consistency? What is her vision for America? I know the DNC was happening all week, and we had the typical every 4 years Democrat circle jerk that they love to do on a constant basis. But I'm trying to figure out why these fools always want to pat themselves on the back and say, yeah, we're totally gonna win. We're gonna win. We're so gonna win. How? How? You think that talking about Trump all day is sufficient to winning the election? You think that saying, hey, I'm not Trump, therefore vote for me because I'm not Trump. You really think that's going to win people over? You think that going out there, going to these swing states and saying, hey guys, we're not Trump, so you should totally vote for us because we're not Trump. If Trump wins, he's going to destroy democracy. He's going to destroy the world. He's going to destroy everything. It's going to be World War III. Oh no. Vote for us, vote for us, vote for us, vote for us, vote for us. For what? What are you gonna do? Look, you do not have to convince me to not support Trump. I am a leftist. I am a political leftist. Always have been, always will be. So you don't have to convince me not to support the right wing, because guess what? I'm not a right winger. You have to convince me and all the rest of America as to why they should vote for your ass. Getting up there and saying blah, 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 blah. We're totally gonna win because we're gonna win. We're totally not Trump. We're not Trump. We're not Trump. We're not Trump. We're totally not Trump. Oh, we're not Trump. Vote for us because we're so not Trump. Oh, that's insufficient. I've gotten multiple texts from this campaign, which I could read out to you. But essentially, they say, blah, 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 Trump, blah, 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 give us money. Blah, 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 Trump, blah, 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 vote for us. Not explaining their policies, not explaining what they're going to do for me, not giving me any reason as to why I should give them my money, why I should give them my vote. They're not telling me what they're pushing for that's going to specifically help me and all the Americans around the nation and all the people in the world. We can't even have a real conversation about anything because everything's become so politicized, so partisan. There's all of this nonsense bullshit talk. No, you're not right. I'm left, actually. So this ain't the place for you if you're coming in here talking about Trump. Sorry. The overarching fact is that the two-party system has failed us for decades. They have failed us in helping us create a well-functioning society. What they have helped us do is create a worse functioning society, constantly worsening in so many metrics. It doesn't matter which party is in office, Democrat, Republican, they both have failed to help us create a well-functioning society. They have both failed to give us a real vision for moving henceforth in a way that's going to help us create what's called a Kardashev Type 1 civilization and beyond. As a matter of fact, we're regressing as a civilization. I show people this all the time. There's what's called the Global Peace Index. It ranks 163 countries based on their level of peace, with 1 being the most peaceful and 163 being the least peaceful. When Trump took office, we were 126. Now, after 4 years of Trump and then 4 years of Biden, we rank 132, which means we are failing. We are worsening as a society. Both have failed us in helping us improve our level of peace in the nation and across the world. That's why it is ridiculous for fools like some of y'all in the chat hating, coming at me, doing everything to try to distract from the conversation, talking about ridiculous shit. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all love to be on this troll shit. Y'all love to be such trolls. Why don't you do this? Shut the hell up. How about that? How about get the fuck off my page? Go troll somebody else. See, this is the issue we have as a nation. We can't have real conversations about anything. All these goofies want to come up in here and start blah, 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 talking about nothing. Because nobody wants to have a real conversation about anything anymore. Everything is fake-ass cap. That's why I say America has become the scam capital, the cap capital of the world. Because we can't have a real conversation about anything. That's why we got to go back to the drawing board as a nation. Because it appears that so many Americans have completely lost it. We have a mental health crisis in America. We have an inability to come together to understand the nature of reality as it is, and it hinders our ability to actually work together interdependently with synergy to create a well-functioning society for us. We can't even have a conversation about what that even means to have a well-functioning society. That's why so many people, so many politicians are running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off, not giving a fuck about how their policies, how their views are worsening the state of America in all these different ways. And then people, all the proletariat, all the voters, they become so party loyalists that they can't even be honest about anything. I'm not an RFK Jr. fan. I'm not. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not a fan of RFK Jr. Okay? See, this is the issue we have, right? Let's take a step back. Let's take a step back from all this political talk. Let's talk about being human beings. What is it that we as humanity, as a human race, what are we trying to accomplish in the grand scheme of existence? If you take reality, if you take existence to its logical conclusion, if we go to the end of time, what is it that we are hoping to accomplish as people? What is the end goal of humanity? What is it that we are actually hoping to achieve by the time everything is all said and done? What are we trying to achieve? What are we hoping to achieve? What is it that humanity is trying to accomplish in the end result? What are we trying to accomplish in the grand scheme of things? We don't even talk about this shit because so many people have all these different ridiculous ideologies and belief systems and ridiculous views that we can't even talk about what's the end goal of all of this. What is the end goal of all of this? But see, this is the point, Philly. First of all, thank you for coming through. We have to take a step back. And instead of having all of this, all Democrat, all Republican, all this candidate, that candidate, let's talk about what we're trying to do as a human race. What are we trying to accomplish? I venture to say we should be hoping to understand everything about everything. Understanding the nature of reality, the nature of the cosmos, the nature of the planet, the nature of everything. Mastering nature. Perhaps ending entropy. Perhaps actually figuring out what the hell all of this is. What the hell does it mean to exist? What does it mean to be alive? What is life? How did life come to be? How did the universe itself come to be? Is the universe all that there is, or is there more to it? Is it a simulation? Is it an E8 lattice? Is it a many worlds? What the hell is all of this shit? What is all of this shit? What the fuck are we doing? How can we ever hope to accomplish anything if we can't even establish a baseline for what reality itself is? We have all these ideologies. We have all these, politicians, these two political parties that have these different ideas of how to do things. But what we can't do is question their motives. We can't question their views, question their beliefs, because if we dare do that, we're the worst people on earth. So that's why we got to go back to the drawing board as people, as Americans, to try to figure out what we are trying to do. And so I venture to say that as Americans, as human beings, at least in the short term, our goal should be attempting to be what's called a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. What the hell does that mean? What am I talking about? I know, I sound like a Russian crazy person, right? But let me show you something real quick, all right? Let me school you on a little something. Check it out. The Kardashev scale. The Kardashev scale is a method of measuring a civilization's level of technological advancement based on the amount of energy it is capable of harnessing and using. The measure was proposed by Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev (RIP) in 1964 and was named after him. The scale is hypothetical and refers to energy consumption on a cosmic scale. Various extensions of the scale have since been proposed, including a wider range of power levels, type 0, types 4, and type 5, and the use of metrics other than pure power, computational growth, or food consumption. So check it out. The Kardashev scale was first outlined in a paper presented at the 1964 conference that communicated findings on BS 2976. Burakhan Conference in Armenia, a scientific meeting that reviewed the Soviet radio astronomy space listening program. So, check it out. Check it out. Before I continue. This is in reference to what's called the Fermi paradox, all right? What is the Fermi paradox, you might ask? And what the hell does that have to do with what I was just talking about? What are we talking about? So check this out. It's very simple. Let me show you this. The Fermi paradox is the discrepancy between the lack of conclusive evidence of advanced extraterrestrial life and the apparently high likelihood of its existence. As a 2015 article put it, if life is so easy, someone from somewhere must have come calling by now. Italian-American physicist Enrico Fermi's name is associated with the paradox because of a casual conversation in the summer of 1950 with fellow physicists Edward Teller, Herbert York, and Emil Konopinski. While walking to lunch, the men discussed recent UFO reports and the possibility of faster-than-light travel. The conversation moved on to other topics until during lunch, Fermi blurted out, "But where is everybody?" There have been many attempts to resolve the Fermi paradox, such as suggesting that intelligent extraterrestrial beings are extremely rare, that the lifetime of such civilizations is short, or that they exist, but for various reasons, humans see no evidence. So I know it seems like I'm kind of going all over the place, but it's all going to come together and make sense. So check this out. The chain of reasoning is this, right? Consider our level of technological progress that we have experienced up to this point. The fact that we've had the Hubble Space Telescope, the fact that we have the James Webb Space Telescope right now at the L2 Lagrange point, discovering some of the oldest galaxies to ever exist, forcing us to rethink our understanding of how galaxies form, how the universe itself began to form and expand, and all these different things. Why is this relevant? This is relevant because we have these tools, these telescopes that help us to see all these different galaxies. We've discovered that there exists billions upon billions of galaxies, with each galaxy hosting billions upon billions of stars, many of which are older than our own sun, with each star hosting 1.6 planets per star and who knows how many moons. So you would think that by now we would have found some kind of alien civilization with the look of our telescope, and we'd be like, oh, there's the aliens right there, boom, aliens. But we haven't. And then going back to the Kardashev scale, this is why that is relevant. So there are three types of Kardashev civilizations officially. A type 1 civilization is able to access all the energy available on its planet and store it for consumption. Hypothetically, it should also be able to control natural events such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, etc. A type 2 civilization can directly consume a star's energy, most likely through the use of a Dyson sphere or a Dyson swarm. A type 3 civilization is able to capture all the energy emitted by its galaxy and every object within it, such as every star, black hole, etc. A type 4 civilization, not included in the original theory, is able to use such energy which is comparable to the power of the entire universe. Right? So what that means is, with all these tools that we have, all these telescopes, if we could think this through, the type of alien civilizations that could exist, if we were to be able to detect them with our telescopes, they would have to be a type 2, type 3 level civilization, if they existed. What would a civilization look like? Well, it would probably be a civilization that built a bunch of megastructures that advanced enough to where they're able to harness the energy of their star, of their own galaxy. And we'd just be able to look and be like, there they are, right there. The crazy part is that with all of the discoveries we've made, we have found nothing. Nada, zero, zilch. We have new potential candidates for advanced civilizations, but we have yet to actually find one. And the reason why that's relevant to us when it comes to talking about politics is that we have to try to understand why we haven't found one yet. All it takes is one civilization to confirm, yes, aliens exist. Life can exist on other planets, on other stars, and other solar systems and other galaxies. But we haven't found it yet. And why that's relevant to us is that there's a couple potential solutions to the Fermi paradox. I mean, there's a bunch, but there's two that matter to me the most, that I think should matter to us the most. One is called the rare earth hypothesis, which is the idea that it's very possible we could be the only form of life in the entire universe. Or, even more pertinent, there's what's called the great filter hypothesis, which is the idea that there's all these different civilizations out there. There's a whole bunch of alien civilizations, but that for whatever reason, they hit a wall. They hit a wall that prevents them from being able to realize their full potential so that they can advance to become a type 2, type 3, type 4 civilization, and that could be the issue that we face right now as a human race. This is why having these discussions is so important, because what the hell are we trying to do? Are we trying to advance and become some kind of advanced civilization? Or are we going to run around preaching a whole bunch of nonsense, giving people a bunch of bullshit-ass platitudes while climate change and all these other existential threats threaten us from being able to actually advance as a civilization? All these political parties, these two political parties, they feed us a whole bunch of bullshit, but they're not talking about the things that actually matter the most. How we can actually survive as a human species and how we can advance so that we can ensure that we not only survive but thrive, and that we constantly improve and progress. And with all these issues, climate change, potential World War III, or volcanic eruptions, or potential asteroidal impacts, there are a lot of things that could destroy us right now. MAD, mutually assured destruction. The idea that if Russia launches their nukes at us, we can launch our nukes at them and destroy ourselves. For what? For fucking what? Because this dude and that dude have a beef, we all gotta die? What the fuck is that? It's like, look, man, we gotta get real. We gotta get real about reality. We gotta get real about the state of humanity. We gotta really work towards trying to figure out what the fuck are we trying to do? The fact that all these different political leaders, the fact that these two major parties have all these people who are at the helm or who are major figures in their party, they are not talking about any of this shit at all. We just had the DNC, they ain't mentioned none of this shit. We had the RNC, they didn't mention none of this shit. Nobody's talking about this shit. They're not giving us a real vision for what we're trying to accomplish. In fact, many of them subscribe to some ancient sci-fi fantasy bullshit that is actually hindering our ability from actually advancing as a human race and as an American nation. If we're trying to create a well-functioning society for ourselves, why are we not going up on the Global Peace Index? Why are we not even in the top 100 out of 163 countries? As a matter of fact, why are we falling further and further and further on the Global Peace Index, regardless of which of the two parties are in office? Why? Why? That's why I ask, what the fuck are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish as a human race? What is our vision for the future? Our real vision for the future? Are we trying to progress? Are we trying to advance or not? This is the reason why I don't subscribe to the two-party system, and this is also why I'm not a theist of any kind. Because it's time that we start becoming objective about reality, that we go back to the drawing board so that we can try to establish a baseline for what reality actually is, and not for what we hope it to be, what we wish it to be, what we were taught by some preacher or some Sunday school teacher. Because how the fuck do they know what they're talking about? Why is it so difficult for us to even talk about these things without worrying about getting silenced and suppressed and censored, banned, abolished, removed from the platform, from any platform? You can't even become a major figure if you talk about these things, if you question these things. Racism, simple. It's the fact that too many people among us are tribal. These people are still living back in the Stone Ages. They haven't realized that it's 2024 AD. These people are still living in 2024 BC. Like, think about it. The fact that somebody can dislike you because of a color. A fucking color. What the hell kind of second grade ass shit is that? Oh, I don't like him. He's brown. He's turquoise. He's pink. What the fuck is that? We got issues like climate change and hunger and homelessness and war. And you mean to tell me we can't even get on the same page because you don't like the color of my skin, the color of my hair, the color of the t-shirt that I wear, the fact that I like wearing blue jeans? Like, come on, man. We should be so past this shit. America has become idiocracy incarnate. And it's not just America, it's all over the world. It's all over the world. We have people who dislike others because, oh, they have a letter next to their name, or they have a color next to their name. Because, hey, I'm with the blue party. I'm with the red party. And yet, when it comes down to the nitty gritty of understanding what we're trying to do, what the focus is, and how we can actually improve our society, we can't even talk about that. No, I have not. I have not heard about that exam. But what I have heard is that here in America, at least especially here in Chicago, a lot of these schools take what's called the SAT. And yet they're about to move to a different exam called the ACT because too many students are performing miserably on the SAT in math and science. These kids don't know shit about fuck. They can't do basic mathematics. They don't understand science. And in fact, we have a growing popularity of anti-science sentiment, which is why it is time that we start valuing science, that we start valuing math, and that we start drilling it into these kids so that they can understand the basics. People think that if they read some ancient sci-fi fantasy novel, that gives them the wisdom of everything. And yet, all it takes is a few basic questions for them to demonstrate they don't know what the hell they're talking about. The fact that their worldview is the same thing that shapes their political views is exactly the issue that we have. I am an atheist and an anti-theist because theism drives our politics, Democrat and Republican. These people think that Jesus is the way to go and that somehow that's going to help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. But the problem is that these beliefs, whatever it is, whatever your brand of theism is, it doesn't help us to actually address and solve the various problems we have in our society. At all. Whether we're talking about homelessness, whether we're talking about hunger, we're talking about these mass shootings, all the various diseases, viral outbreaks, birth defects, freaking logistics, all these different issues that we have as a population, these belief systems do not help us actually solve them, because if they did, they'd be solved by now. They would be solved by now, and we would not have to have these discussions. We'd already be halfway to the Andromeda galaxy by now. We'd already been had a colony on Mars and the moon and shit like that. But instead, we have people who don't even believe that space is even real. I know someone in real life who straight up told me space is fake. I've heard of Hinduism. Yes, I've heard of it. It's nonsense. All of it. Hinduism, Christianity, freaking Islam, pick your particular brand of nonsense. It's all nonsense. All it takes is me asking a few simple questions to demonstrate that none of these people know what the hell they're talking about. Whatever their quote-unquote deity is, whatever they claim it to be, whatever pronoun it goes by, not a single theist of any kind can demonstrate that any such thing as a deity actually exists in real life. Soon as you ask them to start showing where is their thing, where is their God thing, whatever it is, you get a whole bunch of different answers and zero demonstration. Zero. zero demonstration of his current whereabouts. And yet, you can't even become a president unless you cater to these ridiculous ideologies in your respective nation, particularly here in America. If you aren't a Christian, good luck trying to become a president. Good luck getting any support. And yet, not a single Christian can demonstrate that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit exists in any tangible, meaningful way. As soon as you ask them, where is this thing? What is it? Where is it? And what is your methodology for demonstrating it? They start talking in code. They start talking in woo. They start talking in deepity. They start talking in poetry. They start saying things like, well, you know, it's the truth and the light, and it's the creator, and it's outside of space and time, and it's everywhere, but nowhere. It's in your heart. It's in your mind. It's in your soul. It's like, look, I didn't come here for a deaf poetry session, okay? I came here for actual answers. How can you claim that this thing is so real if you can't show me? If you can't show me right now, it is currently 2:34 p.m. Central Standard Time on August the 24th, 2024. It is Kobe Bryant Day. It's Kobe Day. Where the hell is this God thing? See, that's the problem with your thinking, fam. See, that's the problem. This is not the same analogy. That's a pathetic analogy. This guy says, bro, not harming or being personal, but have you seen your great-grandfather? No, right? So it does not mean they do not exist. But see, here's the difference. There is evidence that my great-grandfather exists. There are pictures of him. There are people that I know who knew him, who could tell me about him. But where is this God thing right now? Miss me with this grandfather shit. Miss me with that. He died a long time ago. But this God thing you claim is real right now. Right this second, you're saying that this thing is actually real in real life and at this moment. So if it's real right now, what the hell? Why do you have to go to an analogy to try to prove this thing to me? If it's so real and so true, if it has all these wonderful qualities, surely it should be easy as hell for you to demonstrate it right now. Right here, right now. If I tell you I got $1 million for you, I can miss you with all the bullshit. You want to see the money. So if I can't show you the money, then what the hell is the point of me telling you that you need to believe that, look, no, I got this $1 million for you, fam. I got it right here for you, but I can't show it to you right now. That shit doesn't make any sense. What the hell is the point of me telling you, no, bro, look, no, check it out. All you got to do is believe me. I got $1 million in the black suitcase for you. All you got to do is believe, and it will magically appear in your bank account. And you check your bank account, you don't see shit but the money you already had. And I keep trying to gaslight you and tell you, no, you must be a terrible person because the $1 million should just magically appear in your account. No, see, we have the scientific method now. We have the scientific method now. So whatever claim about reality that you choose to make, it is now incumbent upon you to demonstrate it. Yeah, you can. You can totally feel money if it's in your hand. If I hand you a stack of money, it's in your hand. It's in your hand. But this deity thing that theists love to talk about, now the single one of you can even, y'all can't even agree on what it even is. I've gotten so many different definitions of what this thing is, and regardless of what these people claim, not a single one of them can demonstrate it anyway. No, how? What? First of all, this thing you say you can feel, what is it? What is it? Where is it right now? If you can feel it, demonstrate that it actually exists right now. Show me where it is for you to feel it. How can you feel something you can't even demonstrate exists to begin with? See, this is the type of shit we got to deal with as a civilization. People like this who can say, I can't feel money, but I can feel God. That is backwards as hell. Money literally literally exists. You can go to the bank right now. You can withdraw $10 and it can be literally in your hand. This God thing, y'all can't even agree on what it even is. That's why all these different religions exist. No, I'm not going to do that. Why should I search for whatever? If the thing was real, you should be able to show me right now. You should be able to say, no, look, if you look at the telescope, you aim it 90 degrees northward or whatever the fuck, there's God right there. But this is what y'all do when it comes to theism. Y'all are full of shit. Straight like that. And not only are you full of shit, you are way too egotistical to just admit it. You don't know. Why can't y'all be honest and say, look, I don't know where it is. I want to believe it. I think I feel it, but I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why you use these deflection tactics. You want me to search some dumb shit. For what? For what? No, it's not. No, it's not. If it was proven, we would not be having this conversation right now. It is not a proven thing by yoga. If it was, this would be common knowledge everywhere. We'd have all the evidence in the world. We would not be talking about it. You would not even need to come here to say that because I would already know that because yoga would have proven it. Actually proven it. This is what we have to deal with as a human race. Too many people like this person who can't just admit they don't know what they're talking about. I'm not talking about you, Philly. I'm talking about the other fool. I'm talking about Tan 90 from India. I'm talking about this fool. The person who keeps talking and talking and talking. Yoga originated from India. I know. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care where it originated from. Look, I like when women wear yoga pants, right? Great. I love it when they do the downward dog. Wonderful. What the hell does that have to do with this deity thing that you're talking to me about right now? The hell are you talking about? Because Christians would tell you something else. They would tell you you're wrong. No, it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's Jesus. Jesus is Lord. He's the Christ. He's the Lord. And they say they feel him. And Muslims will say, no, it's Allah, halal, and hamal, and halal, and haram, and halal, halal, So how do we figure out who's right and who's wrong? How do we determine which of you knows what the hell you're talking about? Very simple. Any one of you can demonstrate whatever it is you're talking about right now. And what do you know? Every single one of you have nothing. And that is the point. That is literally the point. These deities, these God things that y'all talk about, they don't exist. God is nothing. God is nothing. Telling me, thank you, Lord Jesus, Heavenly Father. You're just performing. It's performance art. And look, I can appreciate performance art. It's cute, it's cool. But that shit is nothing but a waste of time. It does not help us to solve any of the issues that we have in the world. You've only had thousands of years to show us how it can actually be useful and meaningful in any tangible way. And 100% of theists fail to do that. Because while you're talking about yoga, while Christians are talking about the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ, and while Muslims are talking about Allah, Allahu Akbar, we still got cancer. We still got AIDS. We still got SIDS. We still got syphilis. We still got gonorrhea. We still got ALS. We still got MS. We still have people who are experiencing stillbirths. We still got homelessness. We still got poverty and hunger. We still have all these homicides that happen all the time. We still have rampant amounts of abuse all over the fucking world. A lot of it is being perpetrated by people who believe your bullshit beliefs. So if this God thing was so real, if these God things were so real, then why is all this shit happening right now? How come Dylan Roof is able to go to a church, bring the thing, and unalive a whole bunch of people when they claim that they are in God's house worshiping the Lord. Why would the Lord allow that to happen to his people in his house if he was so real? In fact, why would you refer to it as a he? Is it a person? Does it have a gender? Demonstrate any of that. See, this is what you all end up doing. Like this 1090 from it. See, talking about sitting on your ass, not putting in your, yeah, so when you're praying and praying and praying, you're accomplishing something, right? That's totally different, right? Because you're not sitting on your ass, you're sitting on your knees. So that's so much better, right? You just cured cancer by saying, please, 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 Jesus, 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 please, please, Vishnu, please, Krishna, please, please. That totally accomplishes something, doesn't it? See, that's the problem. It's difficult for people like 1090 from India to demonstrate whatever the hell they're talking about. And because he just can't admit he, she, whatever your gender is, whatever you identify as, whatever pronoun you want to identify as, you can't demonstrate none of the shit that you're talking about. And that's the problem. Because too many people in the world, I mean, we're talking about literally billions upon billions of people. Billions of people are just like you. If y'all put that same energy into actually studying science or supporting those who do, we could already be halfway to Andromeda by now. You have nothing to explain. You have nothing to demonstrate, fam. You don't need to explain nothing. Fam. There is nothing happy. There is nothing. Miss me with all of that. If you're in India, then you know that there's a bunch of super impoverished people in India right now and all over the world. So miss me with all this cap. Miss me with all of that. Miss me with that. You'll have people in horrible, deplorable conditions in many places. And the same is here in America too. There are places here in Indiana that look like some of the places in India. Third world countries. Where people are up to their waist in trash. Horrible living conditions. Extreme poverty. Extreme poverty. But yet, your God thing ain't doing shit because it's not real. Y'all are believing in this delusional system that has nothing to demonstrate. Yeah, if you go to any Catholic church, anywhere, you will find more than likely some kind of predator. See, that's delusional thinking. You see poor people, you think they're happy being poor? Are you kidding me? Poor people are not happy to be poor. That is a lie. That is delusional thinking. That is delusional. People have to do with what they have. They're not happy being poor. This is the type of delusional thinking that helps the rich continually get richer. That is antisocial, psychopathic thought patterns and behavior. Gaslighting at its worst. You can sit here and try to say, yeah, people are totally happy being broke as hell. People are totally happy having all these health issues and they can't get help because they can't afford health insurance. That is not even remotely fucking logical at all. Knock it the hell off with that shit. You think people are happy walking down the streets wondering whether or not they're going to be accosted by some criminal who could unalive them, rob them, harm them because it's Saturday and they feel like, you know what, I'm going to hurt this person? No. Hell no. And see, that's the type of thinking that harms our ability to progress because you're trying to gaslight me and everybody else in the chat into thinking that being poor, that being in a crime-ridden neighborhood somehow makes us happy. The fuck kind of shit is that? If that was the case, then why the hell do rich people people stay way the fuck away from neighborhoods like those, like mine here in Chicago? Why do they stay in the suburbs in their ivory towers way the fuck away from here? I seen a picture and video in India where it's like on one side of the street, y'all got all these, I don't know what you call them, shanty towns or whatever, where it's a bunch of dirty ass, fucked up ass living conditions. And directly across the street, you got a big ass motherfucking tower where the rich people stay, where they got all their fucking nice cars and helicopters and their nice pools on the fucking roof and shit. Directly across the street. I mean, literally the haves and the have-nots. I remember earlier here in Chicago, in Cabrini Green, a neighborhood on the north side. On one side of the street, you had this project building, right? And directly across the street, they had these brand new, newly built houses. I mean, this is ridiculous to think that this is the way things should be, that all these people got to be here, impoverished, suffering, dealing with crime, dealing with gangs, dealing with terrible living conditions. And across the street, all these well-to-do motherfuckers are able to have these nice, newly built houses, beautiful looking houses, directly across the street. See, like, that is delusional. That is delusional. All right, peace out. Thank you for coming through, Boo Bong. Thank you for coming through. Make sure you hit that like and that follow, by the way, if you haven't already. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe. You know what to do. That like and the subscribe. Hook me up with the YouTube, because we're trying to create a well-functioning society for ourselves. And enjoy the rest of your weekend if I don't see you for the rest of the weekend. I'm going to try to be back tomorrow, too. 2 p.m. Central Standard Time every day, unless I don't. But I'm trying to do this every day. I was doing it on TikTok, but they was hating, so I had to come back to YouTube. Of course it makes no sense. See, this is the issue that we have. We have a world full of people like that. We have a world full of people like that want to gaslight us. No, poor people are super duper happy. They're totally happy. That's nonsense, fam. And it's a way of absconding from the actual issues, from actually solving the issues of poverty. People are not happy to be poor, period. You can miss me with all of that shit. If you ask them, would you like to have money? They'd be like, yes, clearly. Do you want to live like this? Hell no. But see, this is what we have to deal with as a society, that mind state of people who, I don't know if it's just because you bought into the propaganda or if you're really just straight up antisocial, a straight up psychopath, because there is no way that in 2024 AD you can seriously sit here and act like being poor, being in the low income crime ridden neighborhood is actually somehow like enjoyable, wonderful, or like we can't improve. That's a false dichotomy, fam. Do you want money but no happiness? No. No. Why does it have to be one or the other? Why does it have to be one or the other? See, that type of thinking is exactly the problem. All you're doing is just trying to run away from solving any of the problems that we face as a human race with that mentality. That's why we need to go back to the drawing board, because that shit is ridiculous. The fact that you're going to sit here and say our choices are money but no happiness, happiness but no money. Bullshit. Bullshit. Why can't we have both? Huh? Why can't we have both? We can't have both because people like you want to purport these nonsensical ideas instead of actually being straight up honest and saying, hey, let's work towards trying to understand reality. Let's actually work towards trying to improve the quality of our neighborhoods, the quality of our nations, the quality of the world. That's why we gotta have these conversations right now. Because if we don't actually come together to establish a baseline for what reality actually is, how can we ever hope to progress in any tangible, meaningful way? See, there's this misconception that a movement in any direction is progression, and that is far from the truth. Progression means moving forward, improving, evolving, doing better, having metrics where you can say, hey, this is working, let's continue improving upon that. Instead of America being 132 on the Global Peace Index out of 163 countries, why can't we be number one? All right, fam, I'm done with you. Get the fuck on somewhere. Bye. Bye. Nice try. Better luck next time. This ain't the place for you. If you're going to keep coming in here with that capping ass bullshit, this ain't the place for you. Like I've said, this is the no cap zone. We have a strict dress code here in the no cap zone. You come into the no cap zone, take that weak ass cap the fuck off. All that cap and shit is not allowed, not accepted here. If you're going to come up in here purporting whatever the hell you're going to purport, demonstrate it. Demonstrate how this is going to help us. All you did was come up in here, blah, 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 bullshit. It's no wonder that we have been regressing as a society, because there are too many people like this fool who are harming our ability to actually improve and evolve as a human race, as a society. That's why we have all these different international conflicts, wars that have been waging for decades, even centuries. Fools are just delusional as hell. They believe in some kind of sci-fi fantasy gobbledygook, and they can't demonstrate any of it to be true. Imagine if the fans of Lord of the Rings and the fans of Harry Potter just kept going to war all the time. Because no, Lord of the Rings is true. No, Harry Potter is true. And they're fighting because they want to believe that their fucking sci-fi fantasy novels are the best and the truest and the realest. See, at the least, Harry Potter fans and Lord of the Rings fans know that this shit is a fantasy. They know it's fantasy. That's why you don't see them out in the streets waging wars and shit like that, harming and killing each other, because they know it's a fantasy. They're just fans. But when it comes to theism, all these different people really, really want to assert that that shit is so real and so true. And yet, every time I ask these fools, okay, where is this thing that you believe is so true? Not a single one. That's why I came up with the rage paradox, the ultimate rage paradox. You have theists who have had literally thousands of years. Theism has been around for thousands of years. Literally billions upon billions of people assert, believe that there's a such thing as a God thing. And yet not one of these people can demonstrate that there is such a thing anywhere, ever. Not once, not one time, not one person. 100% of people, 100% of people have failed miserably to show us where this thing is, what this thing is. They can't even agree. Among Christians alone, they can't even agree on what the Lord is. They can't even agree on the nature of Jesus. Now, if Jesus was real, if Jesus was a real person, he was really alive, and they actually can contact this person, why can't Jesus just tell them, look, guys, this is what I think, this is what I believe, and this is what I'm made of. I am the Lord, but I'm also a human and or whatever the fuck. Because at the end of the day, it's delusion. Faith is delusion. Faith is the idea of believing in something without having a good reason at all to do it. Because if theists had a good reason for believing their beliefs, they would have a good reason, and then they wouldn't need to defer to faith at all. And this is the same thing that's happened in politics. Politics is religion now. Religion is politics. They go hand in hand now. It's to a point where the Democrats do a super duper circle jerk where they tell each other, yeah, we're totally gonna win, we're totally gonna win, we're totally gonna win. Look, we got all these celebrities. Look, we got Steph Curry. Look, we got Steve Kerr. Look, we had Obama come back. Yay, Obama. Look, Beyonce made a song. But they're not selling us on why we should support them. They're not giving us a real vision as to what they're going to do to help push us. And then, even if they do give us a vision, they never ever follow through with it. Ever. In fact, a lot of times they do the exact opposite of what they're going to do. Obama campaigned on having the most transparent government ever, ended up having the least transparent government ever. As a matter of fact, he attacked more whistleblowers using the Espionage Act than every single president before him combined. Now, why would whistleblowers even need to exist if you were being just so transparent like you were claiming? And this shit has never changed. It never changed. And now the Kamala campaign thinks they're just saying, we're not Trump, we're not Trump, we're not Trump. That's going to fucking convince the rest of the world, or the rest of the nation to say, yeah, I'm totally going to vote for Kamala. Totally. Because she's not Trump. Even though she's vice president right now. She's been vice president for 4 years. Her counterpart, the incumbent president, okay, yeah, he's been helping to give some people, student loan debt relief. But he's one of the people who helped to create the student loan crisis in the first place. With the Bankruptcy Abuse and Consumer Protection Act. He signed it back in 2005. So basically, he is in office right now helping to solve a problem that he helped create in the fucking first place. And this is the 1984 like shit that the two parties do all the time. They create problems and then they fucking run their campaigns on solving the problems that they helped create. And neither of them are showing us how they're going to help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves moving forward. And now the political discourse has become so infantile to where it's like, look at Trump. He orange. He dumb. He stupid. Vote for us. Or the Republicans, look at Kamala. She has sex with Biden. She evil. She a communist. She is so extreme. Vote for us. This is what we've become as an American populace. This is the level of discourse that we see. These fools use terms they don't even know what the meaning of it is. Capitalism has gotten out of fucking control to the point where corporations control the flow of information. They control who you get to see and don't get to see, who goes viral, who gets views and who doesn't. We can't have real conversations about anything. We can't have objective conversations about anything because everything's become so partisan to a point where even science has become partisan. Science has become partisan. And it's utterly ridiculous. We should be so past this point right now. So that's why I venture to say the vision for humanity is to become a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. A Kardashev Type 1 civilization is able to master its planet. To master the planet. To where we can say, you know what? Let's ensure that we terraform our planet so that everything can be at optimal levels. That we have optimal air quality, water quality, food quality. To where we can ensure that our fucking education systems are properly educating the youth. that we learn critical thinking skills, that we learn logic skills, that we understand mathematics, that we understand science, that we value science, because science is what's going to help us evolve and improve and ensure our collective survival. If we're able to eradicate diseases and viruses from our fucking gene pool, if we're able to say, hey, let's come up with better treatment methods so that we can ensure that people don't suffer from all these different ailments and diseases, so that the people who are dealing with all these mental health issues can get the treatment that they need. In fact, we can develop better treatment methods, maybe even cures. We can understand the human brain, what makes it tick, why people suffer from all these different mental diseases. Mike, what's good, fam? It's all good, man. Look, I do this shit every day. You ain't missing nothing. I'm gonna be doing it every day. 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every day. I'm talking about the same shit. But the long and short of it is, like I was saying, we should be working towards trying to understand everything that we can so that we can get everything to optimal levels, so that we can say, hey, let's actually improve upon things. Let's make sure we have clean air, clean water, clean energy. Let's try to ensure that we can fucking get people the help they need. Let's try to understand how we can improve upon our various treatment methods. Hey, we have these drugs right now, but let's try to see if we can develop better, more effective treatments, personalized treatment. That's one of the reasons why I'm so big on quantum computing, because it will improve our ability to create even better, more effective drugs, because different substances affect different people differently. Right? And so we still have so much work to do to improve upon everything, to solve all these different issues. But first, we have to come to an agreement on understanding the nature of reality. We have to establish a baseline for what reality is. There are these fools, and so many of them all throughout the nation, all throughout the world, who believe all these different things about reality, but these fools cannot demonstrate, A, that these things are actually true and real, and B, that these things actually help us in any tangible, meaningful way. And C, they try everything they can to restrict our ability to challenge their beliefs, to challenge their assertions, to challenge their preconceived notions and their worldviews, because they believe in these things so strongly they will not listen to any form of criticism, any form of opposition, because they want to believe it so bad. They want to believe it. They're so desperate to cling onto their beliefs, regardless of whether it's true or not. And that's the issue that we face as a human race. People's religious and political ideologies, the religious ideologies that fuel their political ideologies, to the point where, like I've said, religion and politics are pretty much one and the same now. People who love the Democrats, they treat the Democrats like everything they do is gospel. And the same is true of the Republicans. People think that fucking Trump is the next coming of Christ. They can't even demonstrate that the first Christ was even the real person, let alone actually had the powers that he claimed that he had. Because they're so dedicated to their ancient sci-fi fantasy comic book that they can't accept that the shit simply ain't true. And now we've gotten to the point where these people have such a huge platform. They get so much love all over the world. They have all these different platforms, all these different creators, all these different avenues to convey their ideas on a constant basis. They've even gotten to the point where they pay for advertising. I can't watch the NBA Finals. I can't watch the NFL Super Bowl. I can't watch the fucking MLB World Series without seeing a He Gets Us ad. Why does Jesus need a marketing firm? If Jesus was real, why couldn't he just show the hell up? Wouldn't that be the best form of marketing in the fucking world? Show up, show us that you're actually real, and then help us actually solve all the different problems that we have in the world. It's funny how all these different people love to claim they have this connection with these things, these deity things, these God things. And yet these God things never give them any actual useful information. Like, here's a cure for cancer. Here's how we can actually end poverty. Here's how we can smooth over all international conflicts so that we can actually have world peace. That never happens. Instead, these fools claim that this thing communicates to them that the Lord hates gays for some reason. He's just so mad that Tim and John like to suck each other's cocks all day. Apparently the Lord is so mad about that. He's so angry and just infuriated that Tim and John love sucking cock. Who the fuck gives a fuck? We have so many issues in the world, and you mean to tell me that this thing that's supposedly omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent cares about Tim and John sucking cock and doesn't care about these priests that are abusing kids, doesn't care about these stillborn babies or SIDS or AIDS or homicides, suicides, all these different issues that we face as a nation, as a planet? That they have direct contact with this thing, and this thing is not helping us at all. In fact, it's helping to worsen things. It's helping to cause more and more issues. And then when issues happen, people want to give their thoughts and prayers like that means anything. Thoughts and prayers does not stop homicide, suicides, poverty, fucking rape, any of that. It happens all the time. As a matter of fact, the prisons are overflowing with theists having committed all these different crimes. If theists were so upstanding, if theists had all these answers, if they had the truth and the light, then why are they not solving any of these problems? Why can't you run for office as an atheist or a non-believer? You can't even get any real position in the party unless you do this thing with your fucking hand and talk about the love of Jesus all day. God bless you. And God bless America. What the fuck is that? We're the greatest nation in the world. We're just so great. Yeah, we're great at imprisoning people all day. All day, every day. We account for, here in America, we account for 5% of the world's population. Yet we account for upwards of a quarter of the entire world's prison population. The hell is that? The fuck is that? How the hell can we be great when that's the case? When we have extreme and constantly widening wealth inequality. When we have kids who are failing miserably to learn math and science. All this innovation that's been happening, yet the majority of people have no idea what the hell is happening. But I bet you they know that fucking Justin Bieber just had a kid. I bet you they all know about that. But they don't know shit about quantum computing. They don't know shit about machine learning. They don't know anything about fusion energy. None of that shit. We're not seeing mainstream media talk about any of this shit. We're not seeing any form of media hardly informing these motherfuckers about this shit. And then we wonder why we have all this dysfunction. All we see is a whole bunch of censorship and bullshit. If I said any of the stuff I said today on TikTok, I would have gotten fucking banned fucking 30 minutes ago. I know, because it happened to me. The censorship online is getting out of control because too many people subscribe to all these ridiculous ideologies and they do not at all want to be challenged at all. So they have created this techno-feudalist corporatocracy where corporations can decide, hey, all these charlatans, we're going to give you all this fucking free reign. Bullshit the world all you want. Right? This fucking DNC that's been happening. A giant circle jerk of Democrats and liberals telling each other, yay, we got this in the bag. We got this in the bag. We got this in the bag. We got it in the bag. We got it in the bag. Remember in 2016 when they did the same shit and then they fucking lost? Remember when 538 said, you know what, Hillary, she's totally got a 90+% chance of winning. And then she lost? And now they're doing the same thing with Kamala. They're just saying that, oh yeah, she's totally schmotally gonna win. Why? Because she's totally gonna win. Yeah, she's totally gonna win. Look, all she has to do is go to the swing states, campaign there, and then she's got it in the bag. As I said, I've gotten at least five texts from the Kamala campaign. Not a single one of them demonstrated her vision for the future, demonstrated her ideas of what she's going to do, her policies, her stances, her voting record, or whatever. None of that. They just say, Trumpity Trump, 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 give us money. Trumpity Trump, 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 vote for us. No mention of how we can become a Kardashev type 1 civilization. No talk about how we can actually try to solve the Fermi paradox by supporting space endeavors. In fact, Joe Biden right now in office cut NASA's budget and increased the military budget. What the fuck is that? Then we wonder why we keep falling on the Global Peace Index. And what's worse about that, our military has failed audits for year after year after year after year. They can't account for trillions of dollars. The military can't account for trillions upon trillions of dollars. I've seen the numbers go upwards of 30+ trillion that they can't account for. But we keep throwing money at them. For what? For what? And what's crazy is that these motherfuckers are the biggest polluters in the world. The biggest contributors to climate change. And we can't even talk about that. We can't even talk about that. Because it doesn't matter which party is in office, they both love war. They both love the military. Absolutely adore it. They love the military. They love the intelligence agencies. They love the fucking Operation Mockingbird, where they fucking control the media, where they control the talking heads who get to report to you all of their bullshit. And they think that they're gonna condition you, condition me, condition us into buying into their bullshit unquestioned. And if we dare to question them, boop, you've been shut down, boop, you've been banned, boop, you're in fucking TikTok jail, YouTube jail, Facebook jail. The very first time I was ever put in Facebook jail, which is the first time I've ever been censored online, was back in 2012. Because I made a post talking about the failings of Obama. How I talked about the NSA prison program and his constant drone strikes and the fucking NDAA and how they were fucking murdering Americans abroad despite due process. All these things. I'm just listing a bunch of facts that are supported by some of the most mainstream sources out there. And Facebook say, you know what? Fuck you. You can't post for 12 days. Because I told the truth. So now, everything is bullshit. All of these corporations have these community guidelines. And they don't have to be specific about what that means. If you are found in violation, they don't have to explain to you what you did or what you said to violate. They could just determine that you violated. There's no point of contact. There's no person you can talk to. All you can do is just appeal. And then there's no transparency on their appeals process. They can just say, yeah, fuck you. Appeal denied. We're sorry that you don't like our decision, but fuck you. And that's the game. That's the game. That is the game. The overarching point I want to make is that the two-party system has failed us miserably, and I mean miserably, to help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. Because if we were a well-functioning society, I wouldn't be here talking about any of these things. You wouldn't be here listening to what I have to say, because why would we need to talk about any of this? They would just be doing a fantastic job. We would be living in total utopia, and we'd just be enjoying our time in utopia, being in a utopian society. Instead, this is a dystopia, to a point where it's even difficult just to talk. We can't even talk. We can't be honest. People refuse to be honest and objective. People subscribe to whatever ideology they subscribe to. They believe whatever bullshit thing they believe. Okay? So to Philly, to answer your question, the person I support for president is Jill Stein of the Green Party. But see, here's my thing, right? I'm not here to tell people who you should vote for or why you should vote for them, right? Because, you know, there's this thing called a democracy. You have the right to vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for whatever reason you want to vote for them. If you want to vote for RFK Jr., cool. That's your decision. That's what a democracy is supposed to be about. Not trying to shame you and attack you because you want to vote for this or vote for that. What I will say, though, is that if you want to vote for a certain person, make your case. If you're trying to convince me that I should vote for a certain person, make your case. Because at the end of the day, our entire political system is antiquated anyway. It made sense back in the 1700s when we didn't have the internet, when we didn't have computers, when we didn't have mobile devices, when we weren't able to just research information at a moment's notice, but we have the internet now. We have the ability to perform research. If you ask a question, we can literally Google it right now and find the answer. And if we can't find the answer, we can work together interdependently with synergy to find an answer. But instead, we live in a time now where people absolutely refuse to do that. They want to buy into the bullshit that has been drilled into their heads by media, by their families, by their pastors, by whoever the fuck is propagandizing the bullshit to them. It's so difficult for us to just talk now. It's so difficult for us to work together to actually find useful solutions, to actually craft a vision for our future that we can actually work directly towards. So that's why I say we should be working to become a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. Because I personally want to disprove the Great Filter hypothesis. I do not want to see us here in America and across the world continually devolve, continually regress into all this ridiculous conflict, going to war with other countries, fighting amongst ourselves over stupid shit. For what? Who cares what your favorite color is? Red or blue, blue or red. How about let's actually figure out how to solve poverty once and for all. Instead of war on poverty, they got a war on drugs so the police can bother me. How about we figure out the causes, the root causes of addiction, the root causes of all the various psychological disorders so that we can actually solve them. The root causes of all these mass shootings, these mass killers, these serial killers, these fucking homicidal maniacs, these gangbangers, these motherfucking mobsters, all these motherfuckers, so that we can actually say, hey, let's come together as a human race, as one, so that we can actually have a peaceful society to where my Southside Chicago neighborhood could look like Beverly Hills or the fucking Hamptons or some shit. To where the shanty towns in Africa or the impoverished towns in India, like that fool earlier was talking about, could all be well-functioning societies where you can go anywhere and not have to worry about shit. Because we're all doing good. Because we're not bickering and arguing over dumb shit. So that we're not going to war because, oh, I don't like her car. I don't like the way that he mows his lawn. I don't like the way he dresses. Who cares? See, the reason why I talk about the great filter hypothesis and the rare earth hypothesis is because we have yet to find alien life. So as far as we know, we as a human race, we're all we got. We're all we got. That's why I talk down about theism. That's why I talk down about Christianity and all these other theistic ideas. Jesus is not going to come back and save us. We have to save ourselves. And if we want to actually save ourselves, we have to get real with reality. We have to understand what it means to be real. We have to understand what it means to be alive and how we can preserve life, because life is precious. We are the only life in the entire universe that we are completely aware of, and we're pretending like it doesn't fucking matter. We treat each other like fucking garbage. We treat our fellow humans like trash. But we are all we got. We, the human race, all over the world, we are all we got. The advanced aliens aren't coming to save us. The aliens from Arrival aren't going to show up and say, hey, we're going to fucking work with y'all so we can do... Nah. As far as we know, we are all we got. So we need to act accordingly and value human life because it's precious as fuck. Despite all the different galaxies we've discovered, the billions upon billions of galaxies, each having billions, maybe hundreds of billions of fucking stars in each galaxy. We're talking each galaxy. One galaxy has hundreds of billions of stars. Hundreds of billions. And the fact that there are billions of them, each having hundreds of billions of stars, with each star having about 1.6 planets per star, the numbers are preposterously astronomical, and yet we still haven't discovered human life. I mean, alien life. Human life is the only, or just say Earth life is the only life that we are for sure aware exists. Which is why we need to value ourselves and each other, because we're all we got. We are all we got. We are all we got. The Lord ain't coming to save us from cancer. The Lord isn't coming to save you from a serial killer. Think about all the victims of serial killers and mass murderers, and think about their last moments. I bet you all of them was praying to some kind of God of some kind who didn't come and stop the bullet from fucking hitting them in the face. Or stop the fucking dude choking them, stabbing them, dismembering them. I've seen all kinds of gore videos all over the internet. All over. Starting with the Nick Berg video from back in the day. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. To see that people can be so sick, twisted, brutal, that they can commit such a heinous act of brutality. That they can be such savages. All in the name of some ridiculous ideology. And I bet you Nick, when it was happening, he was praying that the shit would stop. That he was praying somebody would save him. Only for it to not happen. So that's why we, the people, have to save ourselves. We have to work together, interdependently with synergy, to get real with reality, and then try to build upon this great foundation of sense so we can create a sensible world. I haven't even gotten fully into the future and what our future could look like. The type of things that we could create starting right now. New technologies, new fucking megastructures that can aid in our ability to further understand the nature of reality so that we can continue the snowball of constant improvement, constant advancing, so that we can build bigger telescopes, so that we can build bigger fucking space habitats and space colonies so we can start to expand throughout the cosmos so that we could be the advanced aliens that some other alien civilization is detecting. Like, oh shit, what's going on in the Milky Way galaxy over there? Even though, of course, they're going to have a different name for it. What's going on in EGFZYT34? They look like they're advancing. That could be us. We could be the ones advancing. We could be the ones building fucking O'Neill cylinders and topolopacies. Whatever the fuck they're called. Hold up. Because I forget the name. Topopolises. We could be building all kinds of crazy shit. Things that we never imagined could ever happen. Things that people don't even think about. This is a topopolis. We could be building shit like that. And instead, we'd rather argue about dumb shit. My God is bigger than your God. My God is better than... How about this? Why don't we become the gods that people love to rave about? Why can't we improve the human body with nanotechnology, with genetic modification? Why can't we eradicate all diseases from our gene pool so that nobody has to be born with fucking cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, Crohn's disease, fucking fibromyalgia, all these different conditions? Why can't we just all be in perfectly good health? Why can't we have super duper uber long lives to the point where we can literally control our fate? Where we can say, you know what? I think that in the year 3728, I might choose to die. Yeah, you know, I've just seen it all. You know, I've been to Andromeda and back. You know, I've been to Proxima B. You know, and Alpha Centauri. Yeah. I've been... Yo, that's one of my favorite vacation spots, yo. You should check them out for real. Like, yo, the sunsets, bro. Nothing like it. It's not even like that on Earth. We can't even talk about this type of shit because we're too busy focused on goofy-ass sci-fi fantasy nonsense. The two major parties are built on these ridiculous ideas. They're fucking controlled by corporations who control the media, who control advertising. The advertisers can control the flow of information. They can control our speech. They can circumvent our rights so that we don't even have rights no more. We need a new Bill of Rights for online, for the internet. There's so many issues that we should be focused on solving right now so that we can become a Kardashev Type 1 civilization and beyond. But if we can't have real conversations about anything, then what the hell can we ever hope to accomplish? How the hell could either of these two major parties help us accomplish these goals when we're constantly regressing thanks to them? Right? So, I'm about to get off of here. Thank y'all for coming through and hearing my fucking rants. I do this every day, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check out the Ultimate Rage Outrageous EP, available on all streaming platforms. Make sure you check out my Discord, and you can check out the motherfucking Ultimate Rage Furious Styles Volume 1 mixtape. I'm on SoundCloud too, soundcloud.com/theultimaterage. You can follow me on all social media platforms, Threads, fucking X, Facebook, Instagram, at The Ultimate Rage, everywhere. On TikTok, however, I'm the Ultimate Rage 9, the Ultimate Rage 079, the Ultimate Rage 0079, and the Ultimate Rage 00079. All right? Check me out. Follow your boy. I'm also just started a fucking Patreon. I'm going to start posting on there. So thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to be back tomorrow unless otherwise noted. If I don't see you, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Peace out, y'all.